What happened to Battlefield 5? This game was something that I was quite disappointed with, for two reasons. One, which is not the fault of the game. I played on a pretty bad computer, which kind of just got screwed. To be completely honest, it had no real ventilation on it, which really fucked up my 1070 graphics card and did a lot of heat damage to that. So that underperforming, on top of the fact that Battlefield 5 is not a light game to play, made it very difficult to play with stable frame rates. And because there's a difference between high frame rate and stable frame rates. If you have high frame rates, you get faster reaction time, all that is great. But the most important is stable, because if you go from 120 to 50 because graphics load and there's effects on the screen, that will just make you kind of stutter and lag, and especially when that happens in gunfights, that's an issue. The second was, of course, the messy amount of content where there was not a proper content flow, and the let's say controversial TTK changes that constantly was happening to the game. I was quite disappointed with Battlefield 5. I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't think it was that fun, but I replayed it now in 2021, and I think I found a way to really love this game. This game is so fun right now, so much so that when I was preparing this video, I was constantly like going back because I needed just a little bit more footage, right? Even though I have, no joke, I have 70 gigabytes worth of footage, and I was still like, I need a little bit more. So let's talk about Battlefield 5 in 2021. Hello, beautiful, lovely gamers. My name, of course, as always, is Jonal, and a like on the video greatly helps out. Spreading this video, sharing it around. Thank you so much for that support. And your thoughts, opinions, if you are a new player or a veteran of Battlefield 5 and the Battlefield franchise. What is your thoughts on the current state of Battlefield 5? Would you recommend someone new buying this? That's the first one. That like, if you can kind of just help out the community with whatever knowledge you have. Would you recommend this a new player buying this? Yes or no? Would you advise an old player that has the game to return to it? Now, as of recording this, which is June 25th, 2021, the player base or the service looks like this. It is just an infinite scrolling down of maps and servers, and to even think that this game is that is ridiculous. This game is alive and healthy, plenty of players playing it, and that's great. Now, I wasn't enjoying Battlefield 5, and mostly it came to this. I kind of, like a lot of people, jumped in and out of the game. I played it, TTK changes came, played a little bit, didn't really like it, left it, came back. And when the Pacific updates came back, or came out, I played the Pacific updates. I came back and I started playing those, and those maps were kind of decent, but every time I returned, because the Pacific maps had been hyped up a lot on YouTube, I played really only the Pacific maps, and I quickly found out that I didn't really like them. And I thought it was just a core gameplay design, because I thought the Pacific maps are the best maps, and if I don't enjoy those, I'm not going to enjoy any of the others. Personally, I felt that tanks were quite unbalanced on some of those breakthrough, especially if you were playing defensive side. If you didn't have good tank players yourself, you could struggle really against like a Sherman or something else, would just roll in and just destroy guys. There was a lot of like artillery and difficult to move on the map, and it kind of just became like you either played really defensively. For me, at least, if I had to play defensively, I could do decent, but I could sometimes still get pushed hard by a tank, no matter how many rockets I dumped into that thing. It didn't really matter. Or I could try to play aggressively, and I could just get shot from 18 different angles and bombed by planes and shot by tanks, and it wasn't a very fun experience. I didn't really like it, but returning to it now, I decided to say, okay, I don't like these maps. Let's try some of the others. And I started playing some of the ones that I wasn't really familiar with, some of the new ones. I returned to some of the old ones. I unlocked all the guns that I could unlock, that had come after I left and that I hadn't really had time to unlock previously. So I had more guns to play around with. And this game is super fucking fun for me now. So to answer my own question, would I recommend somebody that has this game to return to it? Yes. But what I would recommend to is go into your, go in and buy, with in-game credits, of course, all the different guns for the different classes that you want to play. So for example, the Weller gun for, I think that's what they call for the medic class, is so fucking fun. There are some of these snipers that I started to play with now that are a really, really interesting experiment. There's even one with a thermal scope, which sucks ass, but it's an interesting gimmick. There's silence pistols, which I just find to be cool, to be completely honest. So that's just like me thinking that it's cool, so it helps with my mental enjoyment of the game. But running around and playing around with it, I like the anti-tank snipers. That I've loved those for a while, laying down with those and just fucking people up. But just running around, trying out the different guns, playing on all kinds of different maps, and trying them out. And yeah, to be completely honest, I love this game right now. I'm currently quite addicted, both to sniping, but also to, on some of the maps, especially where there's a little bit close cover, to play medic with something like the Weller gun. You can do so much damage. You can have so much impact smoking off the enemy and pushing up. And it's just been a great experience. I don't really have much more to say. If you are new to Battlefield 5 and you haven't bought it, here's my recommendations. If you have a PC that's not that good, so if you have like a 1000 card, right, so 1070 or something like that, maybe a 1080 is good, especially if you have decent, you know, ventilation, you have a decent processor and okay RAM, then maybe you can play with like a 1080 and stuff like that. That can be fine. It depends on how sensitive you are to frames. I'm quite sensitive since I played competitively, so I get quite sensitive if I have low frames or if my frames are somewhat unstable. But if you're not that sensitive to it, if you're lucky and you're not, and you have a 1080 or something like that, I actually recommend you playing this. I can't speak for the campaign. I've heard mixed results on the campaign. If it's decent, it's not amazing, but it's decent. So I would personally not recommend it from what I've heard to just buy it for the campaign. But if you want a game that might not be Battlefield 4 types of Battlefield, where it's just crazy memes and rocket launch, like RPGing planes and stuff like that, where it isn't kind of that kind of craziness, but it still is just this epic, good looking, amazing sounding, satisfying to get kills in game that you can have fun with and play to have fun with it. Playing with the different weapon, playing with the snipers, playing with anti-tank snipers against infantry, running around with some different weird guns that you can play with, and you need a game that is casual, that doesn't have SBMM, because again, you can join by just using the server browser. You can just browse for a server on a map with a decent amount of players that you want to play on, and you can just jump right in. So if you want something that's not like COD sweaty, which I think is like a great part of Battlefield, and you just want to have fun and just want to meme around, then I highly recommend you buying Battlefield 5. Even with the price tag, even the fact that it's been out, the fact that there's so much content on it right now, the fact that the player base is so healthy right now, and the fact that, in my opinion, the state of the game is so good, I would actually recommend someone buying it. But that's my thoughts. I think the state of Battlefield 5 in 2021 is really good because they had time to push out all the updates. That doesn't make it okay that it took a million years to get them, but the fact that they have been pushed out, in my opinion, really just makes the game so much more enjoyable with a wealth of content. Now, that's all for the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. If you like this type of content, subscribing helps the channel grow. Liking helps spreading out the video. And if you have people that are experienced in Battlefield 5 that has their opinions on the game, dropping those down in the comment section so new players or people that maybe want to return can read those comments. And if you're one of those players, go and read the comments. There are probably some amazing people from the community that has some really, really good opinions and feedback that is better than ones I have. I played this game now for like 6-7 hours over the last couple of days, and I've been enjoying every second of it. But listen to what some of the other people in the community have to say that have played it for much longer durations. So that's all for me today. Please do take care of yourself. Try to stay positive. I love you guys very, very much. Remember to tell somebody that you love them. Remember to take care of yourself. As always, keep the enemy in your crosshair.